Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And we have a question that we'd like to have answered. We have a question, that we think deserves some answers because a lot of people they're confused now because they were told some things. It would be revealed to them that their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ would protect him from harm, would cover them with his blood. And they're having a hard time understanding why isn't that happening. I mean, I know with all this going on and a whole bunch of people are suffering for no reason, something's going on. Hello to everybody in the chat. R. Smith, Original Lone Wolf, Bam the Super Predator. That's a comic book character, by the way. Bam the Super Predator. But if we don't believe in doing our own media, we should be doing a Copper Color Lifestyle. I really, really appreciate you guys because I'm closer to many of y'all than I am my neighbors. And a lot of us are. Copper Indio, greetings. Dre Gemini, peace. Await the red pit. Ocio, await the red pit. Okay, so everybody think about what that means. Because a lot of us know the reason why that we're here. You didn't come here to push no mop or something. We're all here for something. Just most people never figure it out because they're always letting somebody else tell them who they are and what they are and blah, 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 naming them. And people go for it. I'm trying to get out of the name calling, but it's rough, especially when you see what's ahead of for us, what we're looking at. If you pay attention to the political aspect, which I don't pay too much, I don't pay much attention to it because when the government is no longer the fit to serve the people must abolish that government. I mean, damn, it's right there in the Constitution, right? It's worthless. It wastes money. It gives other countries your money that your mom and daddy, your grandmom and daddy worked for. And you just la, 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 like ain't a goddamn thing happening. You're going to pay for that because the law of nature demands it. It ain't because I say it. The law of nature demands it. I want everybody to do something because I want to show you something. And, pay attention to the signs of the times and stuff. Everything that's going on. Pay attention. I want everybody to pull up, if you can, I'm going to share this map in the chat. Take this map. We're not going to be here long tonight. I just wanted to share some with you. Take that map. I just posted it in the chat. Take that map. I'm gonna pull it up, or you don't have to. If you can't, if you're on your phone or something where you don't really have time to do it, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I'm gonna share it on the screen, and I want to show you something. This is very important. This is very important because we don't have a relationship with the earth. We don't know when she pissed off. And I know a lot of us think that something else is running this. You on a planet, you on a living, breathing planet. You're on a planet that gives you life. And probably over the last 100 years, we have turned our backs on it. You weren't called African Americans then. They were getting up to that. I shared this map. I want to share this map. I want to let me share it. Check this out. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that up. Let's stop sharing. I'm sorry, you guys. Check this out. Now, here's a map of the Americas. So, one of the things why I always got in trouble when I was a kid and was a horrible student, because I would always check what the teachers were saying. So when they told me something, I listened and to see if they were telling me the truth. And all through elementary school, junior high school, and high school, out of all those teachers, probably 2 or 3 of them were perfectly honest with me. Because they was just teaching us bullshit. So when it was time for my kids to go, I was like, if I was you, I wouldn't go. Because the school teaches you, your people told you, once you go to their schools, you're not going to be no more good to yourself. But no, we want to run and do it anyway. On this map, this is a map of the Americas. When I was in school, they used to tell us it was 7 continents. They used to say South America was a continent and North America was a continent. That was one of the ways that they cut you off from the land, teaching you that in school. When you look at it, America stretches from Canada, and you can even count that island of that, this over here, this Greenland. These are the Americas. You don't know what's up here because somebody has came and taken your land and you pretend like you across the ocean somewhere. And you don't have no say-so, nothing. You will let an Indian woman come take your place. Right? And see, the world sees that. The world sees that. So you can get mad at a lot of brothers because they say the African American is stupid. They're right. Really? So looking at the map, you'll notice if you've ever been down to the Caribbean and you go to the Caribbean and you take a glass bottom boat trip, you'll notice on them glass bottom boat trip, it's not too far under the water. All that stuff and it's a bunch of stuff. Depending on what islands you go to, whatever it's not that far. And you can tell that it was something that was on top of that. They'll have coins and stuff down in the rock and the shells and stuff. What happened? Why are all those islands? Why is right here, this Gulf? What happened right here? What happened? Because remember, the Amazon came all the way up, Oklahoma and all that, all up and through there. Remember, they called those people right in there up into the 1870s. They were calling the people who lived in this area, the Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas area, they were calling those people bushwhackers. Why? Why were they calling them bushwhackers? Because they lived in the bush. See, they're not going to tell you about that in school because it'll probably bring back memories for you. And you can tell right here in the Caribbean, all these land masses used to be connected. The islands are just the top of whatever was on top, or the highest point. I mean, we have to start looking. This is not, I'm just sharing some ideas with you. But what's going to teach you is you. Don't listen to what you say. And if you don't say nothing, sit your ass down and learn what you say. So you got to start looking at it and stop letting other people tell you. Damn. They can tell us anything. And we'll believe it. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the majority, 50.1% of us. That's way too many. So if you look up through the Caribbean, the Amazon forest cuts right through there. What was right here? What is the Bermuda Triangle about? What is that? What are those islands? Bahamas? What are those? When you talk about America, you got to know what you're talking about. Because what people are telling you, you have Native Americans making complete idiots of themselves by brothers just calling, asking simple questions. And we don't know. We never know nothing. We'll argue a point somebody else made to us before we even search the truth. Before we even ask our mamas. Don't them cats piss you off? Nothing in their family says that, but they'll tell you a story telling you how much somebody else is telling them. Not what comes from within him, what somebody else tells him. And it's normally a foreigner. You ever see the Negro who always on the foreigner like the brother was on the other night? They'll pump a foreigner before he pump his own grandmama. That's the African American. That's the African. That's the one running away. I don't want to be black. I'm tired of being a Negro. Color what? Running away. And so as he runs off his land, other people are running in to take it. What? See, you can't do what you let other people do here. You can't do it in their homes. Oh, you don't have a home. You're black. You have no place to live. There's no black land. Other people come name your land and then name you on top of it. And the cold part of it is he gets you to agree with it. He gets you to agree with it. So, we're Jesus. We're Jesus. Come on, all right, come on. So, the question I want to ask y'all, and look, and y'all pretty serious. Think about this. Just type your answers in the chat. Here's a question, and this is only for serious people who know, who's sick of every time they hear this. From the year January 1900 to the present day, how much financial support has the African American, Black, Negro, colored community gifted to the church, the Christian church? I know you don't. I know you don't know. But if you had to guess, what would it be? I want to show you something. What would it be? if you could put a dollar amount on what the community has given to an institution, Indigenous Sun says billions. R. Smith says at least 1 trillion or more. We getting close. No, 100 million from 1900 to now. 100. No, I'm with R. Smith. I'm saying what comes after a trillion and probably what comes after that. Trillions, man. Trillions. At least 100 trillion. Seriously. I mean, y'all, I'm talking about those revivals when they had those tents out in the, country and shit. I'm talking about all of that. And it's like Sean says, it's deplorable how a lot of our people are fleeced out of money by the church. Ever heard the term jive-ass preacher or the pastor who give money to the church and then the preacher has a brand new Cadillac? We cool with that. We cool with that. And like Copper Colored Lifestyle say, too much for nothing and nothing in return. Sean said zillions. And all that economic energy, what could that have done for us? I asked a sister one time, I said, what could you do with all the manpower of those brothers sitting in jail? If you could use those hours, man hours, 8 hours working, instead of them sitting in jail, what could you do? She said, shit, what I couldn't do. What I couldn't do. But we only look at ourselves as valuable if we're selling ourselves to somebody else. That's the only way the Negro, right? Amen. Right. Come on. Right. So where's Jesus? Where's Jesus? I mean, because y'all been on them for all this time. Y'all been saying this, and I'm sorry. My mama been saying it. My grandmama been saying it. I don't think the parents, after that, they were too much in it. Because a lot of this COVID type stuff been going on for a long time. They've just been trying to kill the indigenous people out. And you are protected by nature if you just return to it. Are you mean to tell me that everybody's running over here to get your resources? You're not in a wonderful place. They not trying to get the stuff in their country. They trying to get yours. And you cool with it. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. This is what Negro say. I've had Africans tell me, I know how you shines do it. If you knew what Africans, okay, so you know what they did with the Kamala thing, right? Kamala Harris was able to come over here from her hometown and shimmy her way, pretending she was black at a black university. The Negroes there let her in and led her to where she is now. My question is, that's cool, but could you do that in India? Nobody want to talk. My head hurt. Ooh, I gotta go tie my shoes. We don't know. So this is what you say the so-called African American. This is how much they've been turned off of their land. They'll walk anybody else in. And that goes to the principle of what I want to talk about with the map. When the people are totally cut off The people serve no purpose to the land that they own. The land will send you a reminder. And I want to show you the reminder that went down last time. If you look at the Caribbean, this was a giant land. This was all land at one time. Something happened. There's islands from North Carolina. I mean, there's islands all up and down the East Coast. Hundreds of islands. You don't think that was once above? Now, I know I get into people and they'll talk about, man, but what about over here in Hawaii? Dude, I'm not talking about over there in Hawaii. We'll talk about that later. We're talking about what's going on right here, that affects us all. Why do you have water in the middle of these lands right here, these Great Lakes right here? How come we never know what's going on up here? This your land. See, brother always talk about the black man. The black man was the first. Black man, why are there some places on the earth that you can't go? You don't know. There's places that you don't go because somebody even came and colonized your land and you, and put you in the position that all you do is think about dumb shit. Matter of fact, you don't even think. If you thought, you wouldn't call yourself black. You wouldn't call yourself nothing. And you do it with your chest stuck out. The reason that you got to know who you are and what happened and where you are now and where you're headed to in your journey. What happened to your great-great-great-grandmama? Who was she? Because you did come from her. I mean, I know you weren't called African American then. You was called something else. Who were those people? Who were those people? This isn't the United States. All of this is one landmass. It wasn't called Brazil. It wasn't called Ecuador. It wasn't called Colombia. It wasn't called Anguilla, Puerto Rico, St. Lucia. What did the people who live there call it? I don't know. They never told me. You never went to ask or look. You called it what somebody else told you to call it. Right? Right. So this is what I'm saying. What you say. Remember, you have your physical body, which most of us, we get attached to that. But you have another body inside of you. You don't count how many times your heart beat. You don't pay attention to yourself breathing. You are taking care of that. Not Keisha or Mark or none of that. You. It don't even really have a name. You understand. That energy field is you. You speak to your energy field by what you see out here with your senses. That's why it's important to get back to nature. So you can always be healthy. People who live a natural life are normally healthy people. They're normally healthy. They keep out a whole bunch of the garbage that we put in. And it's being shoved in our throat with all these foreigners coming over here, bringing their goods. What are we producing to sell to the world? What are we producing as a group of people? You got everybody's trying to do their own thing. And it ain't working. None of them. Where Jesus? How come Jesus ain't protecting you from COVID? See, now you want to argue and get mad because you in that bullshit. You in that bullshit. Where Jesus? I mean, by now, come on. If your brothers, you want to know the truth about this? You want to know the truth? Ask a brother. Brother, if you on the job and you living with your girl, payday comes around, she say, "What a check," and you say, "Jesus gonna break me off a little later." What would happen? You see, Stevie Wonder told you, when you believe in things you don't understand and you suffer. All this time has passed. All the money. See, man, I'm saying, gotta have a comedy. You gotta have a comedy. You gotta have your own thing. People like, well, yo, man, how come we don't get my later for all that? You need your own thing. Leave their stuff alone. Their stuff only runs because you run it. But you can't run it for yourself. Really? We don't have no ideas on how to put a religion together in nature in America. We can't do that. We would rather keep going what we've been having to do. We're not trying to change. We're not trying to be different. We're not trying to be ourselves, because that's the main problem. We're running away from ourselves. I'm telling you, the only people that's going to do it is you. I mean, seriously, I'm not here. Okay, ask Copper Color Lifestyle. Copper Color Lifestyle. Do I be bullshitting on here? Do I be begging for money? I mean, you can ask the people who are listeners, like, look, man, we gonna be wiped off this motherfucking planet if we don't stop coding. It's just that simple. Respect David Corey. But awake, the red pit said Jesus got COVID. So that's what's happening. That's why Jesus is not here, because he has COVID. I got that. Pay attention to what's going on in the world. I mean, it can be a lot of us see it. It's a whole bunch of theater going on right now with that political stuff. Later for all that, find out where your people from. Go back to that land, because it's unscathed. Most of it's unscathed. You can go to some places in the South. Now, just imagine if you had, I don't know, and I don't be in people's pocket. I don't know, but I'll use this example because it's something that everybody could get with. Let's say, and they say Michael Jordan is hemorrhaging. To check out all these shutdowns and all these businesses and stuff. That's to shut a lot of our businesses down. So what I'm suggesting is that these places that our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers come from, that most of our grandparents and parents ran away from, you can go make those places whatever you want to make them. Because you're being redlined out of the city. I mean, I don't know how you don't see it. You're being gentrified out of the cities. You have the money, you have the land. You know how many Negroes I talk to that are always bragging about how much land they got, and when you go, oh man, what you doing? What you doing on there? They're not doing nothing. You know, we don't. Come on, man. We're not producing nothing. It's more China finished products over here than what we produce. That should make all of us feel like assholes. When that happens, when the people are totally disconnected from the land, serious, and we're there. Catastrophe strikes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody owns the land. I mean, we should get that by now. You think the water coming down the Mississippi is yours or mine? It don't work like that. We don't even know the laws of the earth. We don't even know them. And if all we would do, if we would just start acting right, everybody would go back home. What's up? We're Jesus. I mean, all these people dying. Hey, I know they didn't put some in, right? We're Jesus. Come on. I mean, come on, y'all. It's the reality. Reality. Okay, are we going to stop playing? Are we going to stop just screwing ourselves? Are we going to stop? Are we going to keep pretending? We ain't do nothing. Really? I mean, you let them lie to you, and you believe whatever you will believe what somebody Bill Gates would tell you. You huh? Explain why. Because explain why you would do what people that you don't even know what they've been. No, all people in here have heard of the Tuskegee experiment. Amen. Huh? Everybody has heard of the Tuskegee experiment, and they doing it to you. Shit, what? 2 generations later, and you falling for it? And we supposed to be nice and we shall overcome. We're supposed to be like that, huh? That's what we supposed to do, and not say nothing, and we just go with it. And we just go about it, and we just go with it. We don't say nothing. Copper Indio says they keep saying he's coming, he's coming. How much of our home is going to be looted and destroyed before we wake up and save ourselves? I think that's a good question. See, those questions are never asked. We never ask those questions. Seriously. Well, let me seriously. I mean, you've been saying that. Where is he? See, I asked my mama that, and she, well, how do you? No, where Jesus? I mean, because, before this went down, we couldn't have a conversation without Jesus butting in. Every time my mother sees me, or before this pandemic hit, it was Jesus. My mama done said Jesus' name more than she said my name. See, this is what we don't understand. We're always calling for something else when everything is already inside you, or if you've created, or that you or whatever people you come from created. It's yours. but you calling out for somebody else while somebody take what you created, and it's taking you this long to get it. And the generation that you have now, how are you going to train them from what they already are? Hmm? Somebody closed the school. The schools are closed. Isn't this the perfect time for the so-called African American community to have their own school, pimp their own the way they want to teach their kids some? Isn't it? I mean, all these teachers and uh, why isn't that being done? Why isn't that being done? With all these educators, with all these people teaching your children, why isn't it being done? I mean, seriously, a school should be built because you know get their Black History Month. We are happy with all this stuff. Why aren't we doing all this history, all this knowledge, all this that you have? Why aren't you having putting together a school that the world would come knocking at your door? Because you see the higher institutions in America, they're crumbling. All you do is have sex things. That's all the administrators are doing. All the colleges. Bobby Wright told you that 40 years ago, 50 years ago. All of these universities, all these churches, all of these places where they have people's mind, people who don't think, people they can tell them anything. They can fuck your children. You don't care. Come on, come on. You get dogged all the time, males and females. You just keep going back for more. Can't you always want to be so always want to give your talents to other people. Always. Can't form yourself in organizations and groups to open up your own publishing companies and everything. Because everybody want to do it their way. You better sit your ass down from that. So this is what Brandon said. So this is just one of the ideas. These are after several months of the students learning remotely, the school districts are now trying to bring them back with a mask on for 7 or 8 hours straight. What parent in their right mind, seriously, what parent in their right mind would make their kids sit in a class for 7 or 8 hours with a damn mask on? And see, some African Americans are going to go for it. Isn't it the time that you have your home, the way you educate your own children so they can protect themselves from the world? Because everybody's over here. Everybody's over here. I was in LA recently and they got a little Bangladesh. They got Nepalese restaurants over here. Why are they fleeing their homes? These are the questions you should be asking yourself because all these immigrants about to bum rush you. All these immigrants about to come over here right on top of you. What are you going to do about it? We're Jesus. You about to have all these Hindus come over here. We're Jesus. See, you can't, you see, it's funny when Negroes get into conversations with other races and they ask Negroes questions and they know right off the bat that we don't know anything. We don't know anything. And they know it. These Africans know. When they call you, I thought when other people called you nigga, I thought it was offensive. When Africans do it, that they say it like it's a name for you. You are not one of us. We are not the same people. We are not the same blood. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. You should already know just by looking. You don't. You would take them into your bosom, your women, you give your women to them, your women with them, you with them. You're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for that. So what with the African American, what they're trying to do with African American is sever them completely from the land. It took a minute because it's something that you just can't do overnight because the world will see that you really are a hypocrite. The world sees that you're a hypocrite, so they got to do it slowly and they got to get you in on it. See, we want to talk about what they do to us, but one thing that we always run away from is what we do to each other. See, we never want to talk about that. Oops. Ooh, I don't know. We don't want to talk about that. We're Jesus. We don't want to talk about how the church has been horribly egregious to the needs of the community. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Well, but everywhere. I mean, how valuable are all these Cadillacs now? Gentrifying you out of the city to bring in these new foreigners they got coming in. And you can't not see. I mean, you can ignore it because that's what the African American is perfect at, ignoring things. That's why you can't talk to them, because they don't know what they're talking about. Simple stuff. They don't even look at the color. They don't even look at the moon at night. They're not familiar with their surroundings. They're familiar with what people tell them. Remember, the African American, there's no brain. His brain is what other people tells them. That's it. I can give you, I know it sounds hurtful. I'm not trying to be. I'm just letting you know. That's why they're cut off the land. You think taking people out of these countries and stuff and putting them in cities, letting them walk on concrete all day, letting them live in air-conditioned housing, you think that's cool? That's shortening the lifespan. That's why you got so many people, when you go to these places down south, that people that live like they grandmamas did, these people live into their hundreds, still smoking cigars, still drinking whiskey, still smoking blunts, and working, because they are still connected to the land. They don't look at time how people in the city look at time. Don't Chinese got their own time? Don't Indians have their own time? Don't Africans have their own time? Where's your time? I don't know. Nobody told me I had no time. Because you're told you're black. You're told you're nothing. And you cool with it. There was a time. Wait a minute. Hold up. Where Jesus? Where Jesus? Because, you always call. You always say, what are you going to do? This? Where is he? I mean, come on. After all this time, don't we get a high five or something? When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. What about all the lives lost? That's the crack era. All these people being shot and killed, all our people being shot and killed, and we can't say nothing because we're complicit in it. That's where we shoot ourselves in the ass every time. We're right in the mix. You see all these people ganging up on your children, their parents, the mama and the daddy, and you gonna join them. See, we're complicit in it. All these crimes against humanities, we're complicit in that. You don't think that Abu Ghraib stuff, you don't think no brothers was in there? You don't think those people over there know what brothers did over those places in Vietnam, in Korea, in all these places that treat you like shit? You forget, we go fight. They was asking brothers in Vietnam, soul brother, why you fighting for this white man? I just told well, you know. Oh, wait, this is what we do. And so now it's time to pay the piper if we're going to move forward. We have sacrificed a lot of lives. A lot of lives. See, one of the things, this is how you know the Negro is out of his mind. Well, white cops kill us because you give them carte blanche because you kill yourself, and then you don't point out the person who did it. What should I think the punishment should be changed. Where's our law? If you harm or kill somebody's family member, the family member gets to decide to do from you, and the family members get to pick the time. What? We are killing ourselves at the root, and we cool with it. It's cool. I don't care. We're Jesus. We're Jesus. You've been playing this bullshit game, hiding behind something called Jesus. And you've let all this time, you've let all this money slip through your fingers when you should have been building something for stuff you need right now. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to go to hotels in Vegas and go down to Brazil and do all that stuff. That's what you did. Now you need those resources, and they're in somebody else's pocket. Where's Jesus? At least to tell you this is not the way to do it. So, where's Jesus? I'm with the brother that say Jesus got COVID. Pay attention, keep paying particular attention, and get with your families. If you got families, wherever they are, get with them and start setting up something there. Tell them you want to live there. You want to, you want to live on the land of your people. They cool. If you have something about yourself, a lot of us think we can just go to a place and just go and change and fit in. It's not like that. They don't know you. And even though you've been trained to do that for other people just come in, you don't care. You welcome them. When you go amongst your people, they've been living a certain way that you've been living. They've been living a certain way. They do certain things. They have certain ways of doing things. Got to live with them. Understand them. Let them understand you. Ask questions. Find out, And a lot of you city people who are listening, when you go down to these places, and they have thousands of them. I mean, whole towns. Whole towns. That you can pimp out any way you want to. That's all. We all talk about how much money and jets and stuff we got. Really? And these are the type of things we can be doing. Building safe cities. Like a new Thunder says. Creative communities. We're not thinking of that. Well, I mean, I'm talking about all your people that you look up to and bow down to. We're not doing that. So that's how we've just given up. We want to let somebody else tell us what to do in life, because that's what most of us do. Most of us don't leave out our house until boss calls. We're Jesus. Come on, y'all. Come on. It's got to be somewhere. Where he at? I mean, at least so what? How much you think? So everybody who's went to church, okay, same time, from 1900 to this day, if Jesus was going to give them a COVID stimulus check, how much should it be? For every person. And if your mom and dad, grandmom and dad, grandma and granddad, great-grandma, great-granddad are passed away, add them too. How much should every person get? See, those are kind of laws I'm hitting. Because, you voted for a president that's giving your resources to recently arrived people, and it's your land, and you don't say nothing about it. Matter of fact, you vote that those people get it and you get nothing. Because you are African, because you were Greek, because you were Moor, you're a Hebrew, you're everybody but yourself. And remember this, and this is where what I'm saying, these natural disasters be happening. You can't run away from yourself. And I know y'all be sprinting. You can't run away from yourself. So I just wanted to ask where Jesus is. I thought one of y'all would have him, oh man, that brother always talking shit, man. Come on, Jesus, let's go tap dance. Where Jesus? We can't keep tricking our children, y'all. Because you see, they get whacker and whacker and whacker. Look at the children of the civil rights. But now check out what the civil rights era did. That was their time. They were young people. What did they do? Is that the route we're supposed to take? So where does that road lead? Where does that road lead? We better change course. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Seriously, find somebody out. We're Jesus. Oh, and one more thing. Do you think, we've been hearing for a long time they're going to have some Project Bluebeam where they do a holographic image of Jesus across the sky to, I don't know, cause mass hysteria or something. Do you think that's possible? Do you think if the breakdown gets, because a lot of people are starting to wake up to what's going on. People are starting to study. People are starting to ask questions. People are starting to think. All it is a money grab. I mean, y'all don't see that. I know y'all do, but I mean, the hospital here, the main one that's here, is empty. I tell, check out, this is how bad it gets. I tell people it's empty. You know what? They get mad at me. That don't mean people don't have COVID. I'm like, I'm not saying nothing about that. I'm just saying the hospitals are empty, but they're covering up the windows and stuff like. What's up with that? And the Negro would take up for the hospital. The Negro will sacrifice himself. That's his job. That's the African American's job, to sacrifice himself off the planet so other people will enjoy it. If I'm lying, tell me, because that's exactly what they're doing. And my question is, where Jesus? Thank you guys for joining me tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with the Accomack Princess. This sister, man, oh my God. Tomorrow, around 7 or 8 o'clock, Accomack Princess. Accomacks. So if you go back in the books, Accomacks, when the Europeans first started drawing their books and all that, it was the kingdom of the Accomacks. She says 30 years later, it was Accomack Plantation. This is how they write stuff to fit their narrative. We have to start thinking and doing ways that's going to put forth our narrative. Long as this is creative, long as we're doing something to maintain life, our life, make our lives better, we cool. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Join us tomorrow night. Everybody have a good night. Peace.